All right, guys, good morning. Happy Easter to you. That cold opening is the basis of my warning that there are big tech companies that are getting ready to absolutely clamp down on bulls who are not aware that they're at the wrong place at the wrong time. I'm going to give you guys the specifics. I'm getting into Apple, Microsoft, Tesla, and Nvidia, and I'm going to give you guys exactly where I think that those stocks are going to clamp down on the bulls so that by the time this video is over, if you watch this page, you will have been warned. There's actually opportunity in them, but when we hit those technical levels, I think the door is going to get shut on the bulls, and people that stayed in too long are going to get caught. So I'm going to give it to you guys here in a moment. I wanted to briefly cover the jobs data that we got on Friday. So it actually came in better than expected. It all depends on whether you hold the view that bad news is good news or good news is bad news. What we actually saw is we saw some mild weakness in the jobs report. So jobs created, the forecast was 239,000 for the month of March. The previous month, 326,000 jobs had been created, and in actuality, only 236,000 jobs were created, which means that there was some softening. And what some people are saying is that what the Fed is doing to raise interest rates is beginning to affect companies, and this is a sign that he's doing the right thing and that he should continue. And on that note, we saw that the gauge for what the market expected out of the Fed, it went from a 0% rise, a nothing, to going back to giving us a 25% basis point. So the market shifted after seeing that data. Now, another thing I want to quickly point out that's kind of amusing and interesting is actually Canada's job report. So here's some interesting facts in the Canadian job report. In December, Canada added 104,000 new jobs. Economists' estimate was only 5,000. And in January, they added 150,000 new jobs. The estimate was only 15,000. And in February, they added 21,800 jobs. The estimate was only 10,000. And in March, they added 34,700 jobs. The estimate was only 7,500. So now, this was kind of a humorous tweet that I saw on Twitter. One of the best comments on it was, well, we've learned one thing out of that report, and that's that the Canadian economists are terrible at gauging expectation for new jobs. But what I see here, if we put that aside for a moment, because it does seem a little bit to be humorous that they're so far off, but the bottom line is what this tells me is that are we seeing that global economic slowdown? That's why their bulls and bears have been able to battle it out the way that they have. It's why we're 6 months after the October lows and we're still up at some peak levels because the data has not supported mass capitulation. But I think we're getting to the end of the run, and I'm going to run quickly through 4 of those big tech companies and give you those warnings. This is the Stocks with Josh show. Thank you for already hitting the like. If you guys want straightforward technicals and analysis on hot stocks and big tech and all between and the crypto, hit the subscribe and the YouTube all notification bells. If you are looking for better trade tools, there is an offer right now from the moomoo investment app. In the top pinned comment, they're giving away up to 15 free stock as well as a 1-month subscription to Benzinga Pro, which is going to help you get your options game going, as well as potentially a $1,500 cash coupon, which shows up in your trade account, and you can immediately begin to trade with it. So click on that link, get the free stock, and then you can come find a chat group that I host on the app called Stock Josh Fam. All right, let's talk about these big tech problems that I see. Is it time to dump the big tech rally? I'm going to give you guys the specifics. Let's start off with Apple. And there's a few technical things I'm going to explain after I've gone through all 4 of them. Okay, Apple. Right now, I see Apple hitting a high of 168 and potentially 170. That would be the upper tippy top. After that, it's going to fall to 147. Now, I have a TW pivot sell signal that the charts have produced, which if you look at how it's been applied to Apple in the past, you see that when it is said to buy, it's been a good time to buy. And when it's said to sell, it's been a good time to sell. We've got that sell signal on Apple right now. Oftentimes, though, when I've noticed and used this particular technical signal, it's always just a bit early. So it's 2 or 3 days, the stock will continue to rise, and then it'll fall like a knife. And sometimes it'll give you the buy signal, and then a couple days later, that's when it'll begin to take off. This is a pivot signal, primarily using moving averages and a shift in momentum between moving averages to give that sell signal. Nvidia, a stock I get asked a ton about, has been on an absolutely incredible run, and I think that it could get up to $292. The tippy top would be $296, but that is when the trap will close. And if you're up there getting greedy with the hogs, you're going to get closed in and you're going to get stuck at the top. I just want to quickly remind everybody that there's always a buyer of the very top price. There's a buyer and a seller, and somebody goes into these when they're peaking and they buy the absolute last order at the top. What I'm talking about today is I do not want that to be you. So Nvidia, I just want to go back a little bit. Nvidia can come down all the way to $190, but I expect a decent bounce at $240. One thing that I want to point out, and why I'm saying it's got this room up to $292, $296, is that we do not have that blow off top candle. Candles are really important, and I think a very simple view of them is always the best. So don't try to overcomplicate candles. If you look at the history of Nvidia, every single time there's a reversal on the monthly or the weekly, you're going to see reversal candles, which means that they're tall wicks at the top. We don't have that right now on Nvidia. We have a short wick. That's bullish, which means that we're going to still get a push up and then a dramatic pullback. And that's what you're getting warned about today. All right. Then I want to point out that as well as Apple, we have a TW pivot sell signal on Nvidia already, which means that for the smart money, those who are watching the charts, it's already broadcasted that it's time to get out. So just be aware of that. Now, I just want to go back and talk a little bit about Nvidia. Nvidia has been running up for the last 3 years. In the last 3 years, it's actually up 900%. Then we had this 70% pullback last year, and then we got a 200% move up from the bottoms that Nvidia recently hit after that 70% pullback. So right now we've moved up 200%, and I think the next move down is going to be around 40%. That's the number that I'm giving you guys. All right, now let's jump into Microsoft, MSFT. We had a decade, 10 years of a rise in Microsoft. If you had only owned Microsoft, it's one of those big tech companies that would have just caused you to outperform everybody, all the smart money, Warren Buffett and his pals and Goldman Sachs. This thing in the last decade has gone up 1,400%. And then recently, it dropped only 40%, pulling back to $213. And since we've been moving our way back up to $300, and I see it getting to $300 to $303. But again, on Microsoft, we have a sell signal. So you need to be warned, the TW pivot indicator. It seeks to provide traders with a signal when there is a higher probability of a reversal in price. So right now, it's saying that there is an absolute higher probability, statistically and mathematically, that all three of these are going to have a reversal in price very, very soon. And then we've got Tesla. Now, Tesla I left for last because, believe it or not, we actually don't have a sell signal on Tesla. We actually have a buy signal. But I also believe that everybody should be warned because we've got some other fundamental sell signals. The fact that Elon's brother has recently went and sold millions of dollars of the stock, to me, is a big warning. He previously had sold at the highs in the past. This guy's got inside knowledge. big brother, little brother, I don't know who's older, is going to tell him, yeah, man, it's time to unload your bags. You're not going to get the same heat that I'm going to get when I sell. But yeah, it's a good time to sell out. I've told you guys before that 196 is a distribution zone, and that's where the smart money has been selling. It's the reason why we got up against it, and we've been buffeting up against it this entire time. But when it came down to 171, it got so significantly oversold that we actually got another buy signal that we're operating on as far as the pivot goes. And we do not have a sell signal. So I believe that the market, I said this in a previous video talking about Tesla, they're leaving room for Tesla to do the unpredictable because Elon has consistently surprised the market. And so they're leaving room for Tesla to come out with an incredible earnings, which I told you guys the other day is right around the corner. And if they do really, really well, this thing can shoot up to 215 and even move into the 215, 230 range. But if there's any problem with earnings, then 196 will have proven to be the right spot to sell. It would have been proven to be the smart place to begin to take profits for anyone who'd been accumulating on that long journey down to $101. I think that when Tesla begins to pull back, it's going to have the bounce at 150. Now that's what I've been predicting. I've given that in other videos. People that felt like they had FOMO and they missed out on Tesla and they love Tesla and they want to be part of Tesla's journey. I gave in the past that my place to buy in heavy was at 150. But if this market doesn't do us right, as there's a lot of people that are suggesting that the market's in trouble, that a bigger recession is ahead, we got a lot of bad data in the long-term view, the macro view, then I believe that Tesla will come back to $135. That's a new prediction on my part. So right now, I'm looking for a bounce at 150 when this thing does unwind. And at that point, it's possible that it could bleed down to 135 depending on the macro conditions. Hey guys, I want to point out to you to go back and watch my crypto video that I did on Friday. It's an excellent video. And if you're in crypto at all, do not miss out on that video. If you want to blow past the news that I talk about in the front half and get straight to the technicals on Bitcoin, Ethereum, Coin, Riot, and Mara, it's well worth it. It's an important video, and I'm telling you that in the course of time, it's going to be a great benchmark for information and knowledge and how to take positions in crypto moving forward. That's about it, guys. I needed to come on here and give this big tech warning moving into next week. I want you guys to remember visually those traps closing in on the bulls. Instead of little flies and little bugs, I want you to imagine bulls being where they're not supposed to be. Big tech is getting very, very, very close to the tippy top, and you have been warned by Stocks with Josh. I'm excited about this coming week because I'm gonna bring two companies that are down on their lows. One of them's a very cheap and affordable stock. And these are ones that I think are going to turn around and have the heyday and be going up when the market's going down. When big tech's falling, I've got two picks for you that I think are going to be reversal stories, and you're able to get them right now off of their lows. And I think that after we bounce off these lows, they'll never be this cheap again. I'm going to do two separate videos. I'm going to give those to you guys this upcoming week, so do not miss these videos. Thank you for hitting the like. If you enjoyed the content and you want to catch what those picks are that I'm making, those predictions, then subscribe and hit the all YouTube notifications bell. Guys, thank you for tuning in on Sunday. As always, peace and blessings. I hope your day is restful and that you find the reason that we celebrate Easter, the true reason, which for me is Jesus Christ. I bless all of you guys, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care.